I have done 30 plus certifications and am here to guide you throughout your certification journey. In this video, we will be covering some important questions of the Microsoft DP-700 exam. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. To the important questions, question 1. You have a Fabric workspace. You have semi-structured data. You need to read the data by using TSQL, KQL, and Apache Spark. The data will only be written by using Spark. What should you use to store the data? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B in Event House. It is used for real-time event processing and is not suited for querying semi-structured data with TSQL, KQL, and Spark. Then we have C, Data Mart. It is optimized for relational structured data and supports only TSQL, not KQL or Spark. And then we have D, a warehouse. It is designed for structured data with TSQL support, but lacks native support for semi-structured data and Spark-based writing. As such, we should use a lakehouse to store the data. Thus, the correct option is A. A lakehouse in Microsoft Fabric is designed to handle semi-structured and unstructured data, combining the flexibility of a data lake with the structure of a data warehouse. It supports data writing via Apache Spark and allows querying through TSQL and KQL, making it suitable for the specified requirements. A lakehouse combines the features of data lakes and warehouses. It is designed to handle both structured and semi-structured data, making it ideal for storing diverse data formats. Question 2. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a warehouse named Warehouse 1. You have an on-premises Microsoft SQL Server database named Database 1 that is accessed by using an on-premises data gateway. You need to copy data from Database 1 to Warehouse 1. Which item should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a data flow Gen 1 data flow. It is used for Power BI transformations, not for moving SQL data. Then we have C, KQL query set. It queries store data, not SQL server or warehouses. Then we have D, a notebook. It supports Spark but is not ideal for automated data transfer. As such, the item that we should use is data pipeline. Thus, the correct option is B. A data pipeline is the most suitable tool for moving data between different sources and destinations. In this case, you need to copy data from your on-premises Microsoft SQL Server database to your Fabric warehouse. Data pipeline can efficiently handle this task by allowing you to define and manage the data transfer process. Question 3. Which workflow automation should be used in Fabric to trigger notebook execution when a new file arrives? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, manual notebook execution. It requires user intervention, not automated. Then we have C, direct Spark execution with polling. Polling is inefficient compared to event-based triggers. Then we have D, scheduled Power Automate flows. It runs on a schedule, not dynamically triggered by file arrival. As such, the workflow automation that should be used in this case is event-based triggers in Fabric data pipelines. Thus, the correct option is A. Event-based triggers allow automatic notebook execution when a new file arrives, ensuring real-time data processing. Question 4. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a notebook named Notebook 1. In Workspace 1, you create a new notebook named Notebook 2. You need to ensure that you can attach Notebook 2 to the same Apache Spark session as Notebook 1. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, enable dynamic allocation for the Spark pool. It adjusts resources allocation dynamically but does not enable session sharing. Then we have C, change the runtime version. It affects compatibility but it does not impact session sharing. Then we have D, increase the number of executors. It adds more computing power but does not allow multiple notebooks to share a session. As such, what we should do is enable high concurrency for notebooks. Thus, the correct option is A. High concurrency allows multiple notebooks to share the same Apache Spark session. This setting ensures that different notebooks can run simultaneously within the same session, facilitating collaboration and efficient resource usage. Question 5. You have a fabric warehouse named DW1. DW1 contains a table that stores sales data and is used by multiple sales representatives. You plan to implement row level security. You need to ensure that the sales representatives can only see their respective data. Which warehouse object do you require to implement RLS? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, stored procedure. It is used for executing SQL logic but cannot enforce row level security. Then we have B, constrained. It enforces data integrity, not security filtering. Then we have C, schema. It organizes database objects but does not filter row access. As such, the warehouse object that we need is function. Thus, the correct option is D. To implement row-level security in a Fabric warehouse like DW1, we need to use a function to define the filtering logic. Specifically, a user-defined function is created and associated with the RLS policy to determine which rows each user can access. Question 6. You have a Fabric deployment pipeline that uses three workspaces named dev, test, and prod. You need to deploy an event house as part of the deployment process. What should you use to add the event house to the deployment process? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, GitHub Actions. It is useful for CI/CD but not directly integrated with Fabric deployment pipelines. Then we have C, an Azure DevOps pipeline. It is primarily used for Azure resources, not for Fabric specific workspace deployments. As such, we should use a deployment pipeline to add the event house to the deployment process. Thus, the correct option is B. In Microsoft Fabric, a deployment pipeline is specifically designed for managing and deploying resources across different environments. It allows you to automate the deployment process, ensuring consistency and efficiency. By using a deployment pipeline, you can easily include the event house in your deployment process and manage its promotion through the different stages. Question 7. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a warehouse named Warehouse 1. You plan to deploy Warehouse 1 to a new workspace named Workspace 2. As part of the deployment process, you need to verify whether Warehouse 1 contains invalid references. The solution must minimize development effort. What should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a database project. It is used for database development but does not directly validate Fabric warehouse references. Then we have C, a Python script. It requires custom development effort to check references manually. Then we have D, a TSQL script. It can query for broken references but does not automate validation. As such, what we should use is a deployment pipeline. Thus, the correct option is B. Microsoft Fabric's deployment pipelines provide a built-in mechanism to manage and validate the deployment of artifacts like warehouses. When you use a deployment pipeline to move warehouse 1 from one workspace to another, the pipeline automatically checks for issues such as invalid references or missing dependencies during the deployment process. Question 8. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a real-time intelligence solution and an event house. Users report that from OneLake File Explorer, they cannot see the data from the event house. You enable OneLake availability for the event house, what will be copied to OneLake. Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, only data added to new databases that are added to the event house. This is incorrect and misleading. It applies to the event house, not just new databases. Then we have B, only the existing data in the event house. Existing data is not copied when enabling one lake availability. Then we have C, no data. Incorrect, as new data will be copied to one lake. Then we have D, both new data and existing data in the event house. Existing data is not retroactively copied to one lake. As such, what will be copied is only new data added to the event house. Thus, the correct option is E. When you enable OneLake availability for an event house, only the new data that is added to the event house after enabling the setting will be copied to OneLake. This existing data present in the event house prior to enabling OneLake availability will not be copied automatically. This ensures that users can access the most recent data through the OneLake File Explorer while maintaining the efficiency of data synchronization. Question 9. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1. You plan to integrate Workspace 1 with Azure DevOps. You will use a Fabric deployment pipeline named Deploy Pipeline 1 to deploy items from Workspace 1 to higher environment workspaces as part of a Medallion architecture. You will run Deploy Pipeline 1 by using an API call from an Azure DevOps pipeline. You need to configure API authentication between Azure DevOps and Fabric. Which type of authentication should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, Microsoft Enter a username and password. It is not recommended for automation due to security risks. Then we have C, Managed Private Endpoint. It is used for network security in Azure, not for authentication. Then we have D, Workspace Identity. Fabric does not support a workspace identity for API authentication. As such, the type of authentication that we should use is service principal. Thus, the correct option is A. A service principal is a security identity used by applications, services, and automation tools to access specific Azure resources. It provides a secure way to authenticate and authorize API calls between Azure DevOps and Fabric. By using a service principal, you can grant the necessary permissions to deploy Pipeline 1 to interact with the Fabric workspace and deploy items to higher environments. This approach ensures secure and managed access without relying on individual user credentials. Question 10. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains an Apache Spark job definition named Job 1. You have an Azure SQL database named Source 1 that has public internet access disabled. You need to ensure that Job 1 can access the data in Source 1. What should you create? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, an on-premises data gateway. It is used for on-premises databases, but source 1 is in Azure. Then we have C, an integration runtime. It is used for data movement in pipelines, not secure network connections. Then we have D, data management gateway. It is a legacy component replaced by on-premises data gateway. As such, what we should create is a managed private endpoint. Thus, the correct option is B. Managed private endpoint. This allows secure and private communication between Azure services without exposing data to the public internet. By creating a managed private endpoint, you can establish a direct connection between the Apache Spark job in Workspace 1 and the Azure SQL database while keeping public internet access disabled. This approach ensures that data transfer happens securely within the Azure network. To ensure that job 1 can access the data in source 1, you need to create a managed private endpoint. This will allow the Spark job to securely connect to the Azure SQL database without requiring public internet access. Question 11. Your company has a sales department that uses two Fabric workspaces named Workspace 1 and Workspace 2. The company decides to implement a domain strategy to organize the workspaces. You need to ensure that a user can perform the following tasks: create a new domain for the sales department, create two subdomains, one for the East region and one for the West region, assign Workspace 1 to the East region subdomain, assign Workspace 2 to the West region subdomain. The solution must follow the principle of least privilege. Which role should you assign to the user? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, workspace admin. It manages a single workspace but cannot create or assign domains. Then we have B, domain admin. It can manage an existing domain but cannot create a new domain. Then we have C, domain contributor. It can contribute to an existing domain but cannot create subdomains or assign workspaces. As such, the role that we should assign to the user is Fabric admin. Thus, the correct option is D. Fabric admin has the highest level of permissions within the Fabric environment, enabling the creation of domains and subdomains, as well as the assignment of resources to those domains. Question 12. You have a Fabric workspace named Workspace 1 that contains a warehouse named DW1 and a data pipeline named Pipeline 1. You plan to add a user named User 3 to Workspace 1. You need to ensure that User 3 can perform the following actions: view all the items in Workspace 1, update the tables in DW1. The solution must follow the principle of least privilege. You already assigned the appropriate object level permissions to DW1. Which workspace role should you assign to User 3? Which workspace role should you assign to User 3? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, admin. It grants full control over the workspace, exceeding the required permissions. Then we have C, viewer. It allows viewing items but does not permit updates to DW1. Then we have D, contributor. Can edit workspaces items but cannot see all items in workspace 1. As such, the workspace role that we should assign to user 3 is member. Thus, the correct option is B. This role allows users to view and interact with all the items in the workspace. When combined with the already assigned object level permissions to DW1, it ensures that user 3 can update the tables in DW1. Question 13. You have five Fabric workspaces. You are monitoring the execution of items by using Monitoring Hub. You need to identify in which workspace specific item runs. Which column should you view in Monitoring Hub? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, start time. It shows when execution began but not the workspace. Then we have B, capacity. It indicates the compute resource but not the workspace. Then we have C, activity name. It displays the task name but not its workspace location. And then we have D, submitter. It identifies who started the process, not where it runs. As such, the column that we should view in Monitoring Hub is location. Thus, the correct option is E. Location. This column displays the workspace where the item is being executed, helping you pinpoint the exact workspace of the item. Question 14. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a warehouse named DW1. DW1 is located by using a notebook named Notebook1. You need to identify which version of Delta was used when Notebook 1 was executed. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, real-time hub. Monitors real-time event processing not delta versioning. Then we have B, OneLake Data Hub. It manages data access across workspaces but does not track delta versioning. Then we have C, the admin monitoring workspace. It provides admin level monitoring but not execution details of specific notebooks. Then we have E, the Microsoft Fabric Capacity Metrics app. It monitors capacity usage, not delta versioning. As such, what we should use is Fabric Monitor. Thus, the correct option is D. Fabric Monitor. This tool provides detailed monitoring and logging capabilities for various components within a Fabric workspace, including notebooks and data processing tasks. By using Fabric Monitor, you can track and analyze the execution details of Notebook 1, including the version of Delta used during its execution. This information is crucial for debugging, auditing, and ensuring compatibility across different versions of Delta. Question 15. You have a Fabric workspace that contains a semantic model named Model 1. You need to dynamically execute and monitor the refresh progress of Model 1. What should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Dynamic management views in Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. It is used for SQL databases, not Fabric semantic models. Then we have B. Monitoring Hub. It provides an overview of activities but does not allow dynamic execution. Then we have C. Dynamic management views in Azure Data Studio. Similar to SSMS, it is used for SQL databases, not Fabric semantic models. As such, what we should use is a semantic link in a notebook. Thus, the correct option is D. Semantic link in a notebook. This approach allows you to dynamically execute operations and monitor the refresh progress of the semantic model within the interactive and flexible environment of a notebook. By using a semantic link, you can write custom scripts to trigger the refresh process and track its progress in real time. This method provides a high degree of control and visibility over the operations on your semantic model. Question 16. Company wants to optimize query performance in a Fabric lakehouse storing semi-structured data. They must ensure that data is partitioned for efficient retrieval. Which approach should they implement? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, convert all data to CSV format for easy querying. CSV lacks indexing and partitioning, making queries slower than using optimized delta tables. Then we have C, store all data in a single delta table without partitioning. No partitioning leads to slow queries due to full table scans. Then we have D, use materialized views to pre-compute aggregates. It helps with pre-computed queries but does not optimize general data retrieval like DPP does. As such, the approach that we should implement is use dynamic partition pruning. Thus, the correct option is A. DPP optimizes query performance by dynamically selecting only the relevant partitions of a delta table at runtime, reducing scan time and improving efficiency. Question 17. How does the Medallion architecture improve data processing in Fabric Lakehouse? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, by enforcing strict data governance policies. Governance is important but not the main goal of Medallion architecture. Then we have C, by storing all data in a single highly optimized table. This is quite opposite of Medallion. Medallion divides data into multiple layers for better management. Then we have D, by automatically deleting redundant data to optimize storage. Medallion focuses on data refinement, not automatic deletion. As such, data processing is improved by structuring data into bronze, silver, and gold layers for incremental refinement. Thus, the correct option is B. The medallion architecture enables better data quality and usability by incrementally refining raw data in the bronze layer into cleansed and transformed data in the silver layer and finally into aggregated data in the gold layer. Question 18. Which storage format should be used in Microsoft Fabric to support asset transactions and incremental updates frequently? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, Parquet. It is a columnar format but does not support asset transactions natively without Delta Lake. Then we have B, JSON. While flexible, JSON does not support transactions or efficient incremental updates in the same way as Delta. Then we have C, CSV. Simple format that lacks support for asset transactions and efficient data handling features. As such, the storage format that should be used in Microsoft Fabric to support asset transactions and incremental updates efficiently is Delta. Thus, the correct option is D. Delta format supports asset transactions and allows for efficient incremental updates, making it ideal for use in Microsoft Fabric lakehouses. Delta Lake provides features like time travel, schema evolution, and transactional consistency, all of which are essential for reliable and scalable data processing. Question 19. You need to ensure that changes in Fabric Delta tables are automatically captured for CDC. What should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, event grid. It is useful for event-based architectures, but not specifically for CDC in Delta tables. Then we have C, SQL CDC in Azure Synapse D. It is specific to Azure Synapse and does not directly apply to Delta tables in Fabric. Then we have D, Fabric Event Stream. It is used for real-time event processing but not directly related to CDC in Delta tables. As such, what we should use is Delta Change Data Field. Thus, the correct option is A. The Delta Change Data Field in Fabric allows automatic capturing of changes in Delta tables for change data capture. It enables querying and tracking of incremental data changes, making it ideal for CDC use cases. Question 20. Which feature of Delta tables in Fabric helps in reducing the number of small files and optimizing read performance? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, vacuum command. It removes obsolete data but does not address small file optimization or read performance. Then we have C, create index command. It is used for creating indexes, not specifically for optimizing small files or read performance in Delta tables. Then we have a D, partition by clause. It helps organize data into partitions but does not merge small files for optimization. As such, the feature that we should use is optimize command. Thus, the correct option is B. The optimize command in Delta tables helps reduce the number of small files and optimizes read performance by consolidating small files into larger ones. This improves query performance and resource usage in Microsoft Fabric. Question 21. Which method allows data engineers to ingest REST API data into a Fabric lakehouse? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, using Azure Data Factory. ADF can be used for data movement, but is not specific to Spark notebooks in Fabric for REST API ingestion. Then we have B, using Dataflow Gen 1. Dataflow Gen 1 is for data transformations, not directly for ingesting data from REST APIs. Then we have C, using KQL queries. KQL is primarily for querying, not for data ingestion from REST APIs. As such, the method that allows data engineers to ingest REST API data into a Fabric lakehouse is using Apache Spark notebooks. Thus, the correct option is D. Apache Spark notebooks in Fabric allows data engineers to ingest data from REST APIs by writing custom Spark code to call the API, process the data, and store it in a lakehouse. Question 22. Fabric Lakehouse contains sensitive customer data. You must ensure that only authorized users can query the data using SQL while preventing direct file access. What should you do? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, assign the viewer role at the workspace level. Viewer only allows viewing items at the workspace level, but it does not guarantee control over query access to sensitive data. Then we have C, grant read all Apache Spark permission. This gives access to Spark based operations, not SQL access specifically. Then we have D, share the entire lakehouse with all users. This would grant access to all users, exposing sensitive data and not restricting query access as required. As such, what we should do is grant users read all SQL and endpoint data permission. Thus, the correct option is A. Granting the read all SQL endpoint data permission ensures that only authorized users can query the data using SQL in the Fabric Lakehouse while preventing direct file access. This permission controls access to SQL endpoints and enforces security at the query level. Question 23. Which security feature should be implemented to enforce row level security in a Fabric warehouse? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, RBAC only. RBAC controls access at the object level but does not support row level restrictions. Then we have B, Microsoft Entra ID conditional access. It is primarily used for access control and authentication, but not for RLS at the data layer. Then we have D, firewall rules. It is used for network level security, but does not impact data level security like RLS. As such, the security feature that should be implemented to enforce row level security in a Fabric warehouse is SQL security policies. Thus, the correct option is C. SQL security policies in Fabric enables the implementation of row-level security, which restricts data access based on the user's role or identity. This ensures that users can only see rows of data they are authorized to access. Question 24. Which optimization technique should be used to improve Apache Spark performance in Fabric when joining large datasets? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B, sort merge join for all tables. While sort merge join is efficient for large tables with sorted data, it requires sorting and might be slower than broadcast for small tables. Then we have C, partition join for efficiency. Partition join creates a cross product of tables, leading to exponential growth in result size and in efficiency. Then we have D, use raw parquet files instead of Delta. Delta format provides asset transactions and optimizations like Z ordering, which are not available for raw parquet files. As such, the optimization technique that should be used is broadcast join for small tables. Thus, the correct option is A. A broadcast join is an optimization technique where a small table is broadcasted to all worker nodes, ensuring that the join can happen locally on each node without shuffling large amounts of data. This significantly improves performance when joining large datasets with smaller ones in Apache Spark within Fabric. Question 25. Which Fabric monitoring tool should be used to track real-time execution logs of data pipelines? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have a Azure Monitor. It is a general purpose monitoring tool, but it is not tailored specifically for real-time execution logs of Fabric data pipelines. Then we have C, Power BI Report Builder. It is used for creating reports and visualizations, not for monitoring real-time pipeline execution. Then we have D, Event Grid. It is used for event-driven architectures and does not specifically provide execution logs for data pipelines. As such, the Fabric monitoring tool that should be used is Fabric Monitor Hub. Thus, the correct option is B. The Fabric Monitor Hub is the tool used to track real-time execution logs of data pipelines in Fabric. It provides detailed logs and insights into pipeline activities, helping you monitor and troubleshoot pipeline execution. Question 26. You need to incrementally process only new data in a Fabric lakehouse without reloading existing data. Which feature should you use? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, truncate and insert statements. Truncating and inserting data would involve reloading all data, not just new data. Then we have C, fill table scans on every load. This would involve scanning and processing the entire dataset, which is inefficient for large datasets. Then we have D, refresh the entire table in the gold layer. Refreshing the entire table would not allow for incremental processing of just new data. As such, the feature that we should use is delta change data field. Thus, the correct option is B. Delta change data field allows for the incremental processing of only new data in a Fabric lakehouse without reloading the entire dataset. It efficiently captures changes and can be used for incremental ETL workflows. Version 27. Fabric Data Pipeline ingests data from an on-premises SQL server using an on-premises data gateway. How can you optimize data movement? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A, increase the frequency of full loads. Full loads can be inefficient, especially with large datasets, as they involve processing all data every time. Then we have B, directly write data to the gold layer. Writing directly to the gold layer bypasses staging and may result in suboptimal data quality and performance. Then we have C, perform all transformations on the on-premises SQL server. Loading all transformations to the on-premises SQL server may lead to performance bottlenecks, especially with large or complex transformations. As such, we can optimize data movement by using staged delta tables before final transformation. As such, the correct option is D. Using staged delta tables before the final transformation allows for efficient incremental loading and data processing. Data is first loaded into a staging area where it can be transformed and optimized before being moved to the final layer. This approach reduces the load on the source system and optimizes performance. Question 28. Which tool should you use in Fabric to perform real-time analytics on streaming data? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have B. Apache Spark notebooks. While useful for batch processing and analytics, Spark notebooks are not specifically optimized for real-time streaming analytics. Then we have C. Dataflow Gen 2. It is primarily for data transformations, but not specifically designed for real-time streaming. Then we have D, Fabric Warehouse. A warehouse is used for storing and querying data, but it is not optimized for real-time analytics on streaming data. As such, the tool that we should use in Fabric is Event House. Thus, the correct option is A. Event House in Fabric is designed specifically for real-time analytics on streaming data. It enables the ingestion, processing, and analysis of streaming data in real time, making it the ideal tool for handling continuous data flows. Question 29. How can you reduce egress costs when accessing external Amazon S3 data from a Fabric Lakehouse? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Cache all external data within the Fabric workspace. Caching external data increases storage costs and does not reduce egress costs. Then we have B. Store data in CSV format in OneLake. Storing data in CSV format would not necessarily reduce egress costs. Additionally, CSV is not the most efficient format for large datasets. Then we have D. Always pull full datasets instead of incremental loads. Pulling full datasets increases the amount of data transferred, which would increase egress costs, not reduce them. As such, we can reduce egress costs by using shortcuts instead of copying data. Thus, the correct option is C. Using shortcuts in Fabric allows you to create a reference to external Amazon S3 data without actually copying it into the Fabric lakehouse, reducing egress costs by avoiding data duplication and reducing the need to transfer data out of Amazon S3. Question 30. Which indexing strategy should you implement in Fabric to optimize analytical queries on a large warehouse table? Firstly, let's eliminate the incorrect options. We have A. Heap table storage. Heap tables store data without any indexing, leading to poor performance for analytical queries on large datasets. Then we have C. Row-based index. Row-based indexing is better for transactional systems and not optimized for analytical workloads on large tables. Then we have D, non-clustered row store index. While non-clustered indexes can be useful for certain queries, they are not as efficient as clustered column store indexes for large-scale analytics in data warehouses. As such, the indexing strategy that we should implement is clustered column store index. Thus, the correct option is B. Clustered column store index is the best indexing strategy in Fabric for optimizing analytical queries on large tables in a warehouse. It stores data in a columnar format, which is highly optimized for read-heavy analytics, especially for large datasets. These were all the questions for this video. You can find the complete PDF of this video and our practice questions through the link down in the description. We will be publishing more parts to this series in the future, so please make sure to subscribe our channel and press the bell icon. Thank you for watching and stay tuned.